Hello there, welcome to Be With Me. I'm Kay, your host from Fantastic Stars Beads. Happy Monday. If you guys are new to the show, welcome. The show is a little show for inspiration, motivation, and whatever is trending here in the bead life at Stars Beads. And I always love knowing where you're coming in from. I hope you guys, maybe some of you guys are new, catching me from the Great Bead Extravaganza this past weekend. But if you are new, even if you aren't, please say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from, what your weather's looking like, what you're beading with, what is exciting you guys today. Because I can tell you right now that paper is super exciting. Who knew? I hope you guys got a chance to catch us over the weekend. So if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I belong to a fantastic group of artistic collectives that put on the biggest, coolest virtual bead show of its kind, and it just happened to be this past weekend, called the Spring Fling, and there were so many presentations of fantastic designs and getting yourself educated in all things beading. And so my little segment, I was getting us hooked into paper. So who all was there? If you guys happen to be there, throw some hearts, throw some love. That always helps the algorithms for our site. So, that little free little bit of help, just a little heart, just a little thumbs up, on this page, on this post, on the Great Bead Extravaganza too, because that's just a great group of fun people that are just so creative. And so I had a fun time doing paper. Let me show you. Here's the pendant that we made yesterday. We didn't totally complete the bail. Time flew so fast on me, and I just couldn't even believe that that the hour was up. And so I guess I was a little slower on rolling paper. I didn't think this was going to take so long, but it's a cool design and simple, kind of changing up from what you might think is like the traditional, like I wanted to put a pearl on this baby, but I wanted to continue playing today because we didn't get a chance to really, so we made the ball yesterday, and then we started, kind of seeing, okay, we did a whole bunch of these like little, I don't know, little discs, like tons of different discs, and then started throwing in, putting colors together, because as you guys know, I love color, and so I wanted to add more than just one in these spirals. And so let's take a look, and I wanted to show you a couple different things. Here's what that earring looks like. So if you guys are wondering what the size bead that we had made, when you use 3 strips, okay, you're kind of making like, I think it was a 12 or 14 millimeter bead. Let's say 10 or 12, because this is a 14 millimeter button. I don't know where my caliper is. Didn't have a caliper around handy right here. Where is that? I do have a caliper handy. So this turned out to be a 14 millimeter. So that's a good size. So kind of learning how to make bigger beads, but not with more paper, with just the way you roll it. So we made kind of like a boho style bead. This is the one that we had made yesterday. So that was cool. And then I kind of, showed off really fast at the end, like, hey, you can do different colors. Okay, so we started there after we had done this pendant. So we got a chance to see what that looks like done. You can see we attached the bail onto there. Okay, so you could just slide that right through and boom, look at that. And you could certainly keep going. I was actually thinking we could have added, something a little fancier, like round. Of course, I wanted to do the rainbow one, like add something round there. Like that would look cool. If we had made it maybe a little shorter in a different color, you could add round and then put a little crystal. So now we are going to start adding. So I wanted to do these, what I'm calling paper pods today, and then you guys can see what you can do with them, okay? Because you can, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you kind of making a pendant. So we had shown off, you know, some of these bigger colors, and I want you guys to help me decide what we want to put in it today, okay? So let's take a look at what's on Kay's table. It's going to look like a little similar to what was on my table yesterday. Didn't want to move it because there's so much good stuff on it. So let's get ready as I say my hellos and see who's getting a chance to play with us today. What a fantastic looking table. Does that look yummy, you guys? Who's kind of like, maybe I'll try paper, you know? Anybody? After watching how things went? You guys might give paper a try. And, oh, you think red is my color? Well, thank you, Miss Sunny and Phyllis and Susie and Lorraine and Janelda and Rochelle. Oh, you liked the presentation. I'm sorry you didn't get through everything, but, you know, there's so much to, you know, put in and jam-pack, so it tends to happen to me each time. So, and Mary Lee and Susan and Barb and Liz coming in from Austin. Very nice. It's sunny down there. That's good to hear. And Lorraine and Bonnie. Oh, hello, 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 Miss Mal. I know my presentation went fast. You know, just getting mesmerized by rolling paper. Oh, you were cutting a bunch of strips on your Cricut. Good idea. I was thinking you could also probably take, I wonder, you know, if they're different sizes, but if you take your paper shredder and, you know, stick it through a paper shredder, you know, I thought that might be a way to get some strips. I used a paper cutter to do some of my own strips, but I found that I liked getting the for the teeny tiny, doing these ones, getting the quilling strips, because you don't see a lot of the design. So unless I'm trying to upcycle some paper, but let's take a look, you guys. Okay, so all right, so we were looking at all of these different, you see all these different spirals, right? Okay, and then so they started out flat, and you know what? You could also make these, and you know we had sold those clay hishis before, but these would also look great as a design too, right? So look at those. You could certainly plug those in if you want slightly bigger holes. If you want it to fit onto leather, you guys, you can make your own size hole. Okay, so just wrap it around something that's a little bit thicker, or, you know, you could try to poke out the center. But look, these already in themselves are beads, so you could seal these closed and call that a day. So these are super cute. I was actually thinking that we could put them with some of our hishis that we had from like the other week. So, you know, we were messing around with these, and then don't they just look like candy, kind of like Smarties? Okay, so that was another, you know, thing. I don't feel like I got to say everything yesterday. Okay, and then we learned to poke out these just a smidgen, and learned that making them a little bit more rounded, you could make beads. Okay, and then this one, you know, I didn't get to talk about it much, okay? So we didn't get a chance to talk about sealing anything yesterday. So, you know, you can use certainly the tacky glue and make sure that goes all the way around. For these little beads, I had these, you know, like micro beads. They didn't have any holes. And putting a clear nail polish layer was a super handy, that helped harden it as well as making it a bit waterproof. But that's a little bit about sealing it. Okay, so the Mod Podge is also a sealant, you know, so, you know, there's a lot of different mediums you can use. Okay. So to the question here, Emily is saying that the round beads here that we made, what did I do to make sure that they didn't collapse? Okay, so so if you see yesterday when we pushed these out, okay, whatever distance you wanted to. What we did was we painted or we put a coat of the glue all along the inside here. Okay, so we're going to do that again today as we make the what I call pods, okay, and showing you what you guys can do with different pods. But ideally, like say now I've got 2 of these purple ones, right? But what we would do is you would put a coat of that tacky, and you could put 2 coats, you know, if you want to make sure that it stays stiff, okay? So you would do, let's kind of set this one up and pretend, okay, right? And then you would seal it on both sides. Okay, and then seal those edges like this. Okay, and then seal all of this outside. So you could do 1 or 2 coats on the inside. I found 1 coat has worked out. You know, maybe something on a little bit bigger, I might put a second coat just to reinforce it. And then putting some layers on the outside so that you seal it. You don't want to seal the you don't want to seal these until it's in the form you want them, obviously, because you're not going to be able to move it after that. Okay? So that's all you need to do. So that's how this one would look. But I'm going to show off a couple of ideas. So this is, you know, if we decided to make a good size pendant, so you can see how big the bead was, you could make, you know, a bigger pendant and put one of these on top would be, you know, look at that. That would be pretty cool. Okay, but what I want to make what I call these little pods, because I thought they were kind of cute, and I found that you could make a button. You could, you know, do other things with it. But I wanted to show you today on how to make this little guy, okay? And some different things that you can be doing with this pod idea, okay? Because you can see here, I turned it into a button. You could certainly do it into a decorative head pin, but I thought we'd make one of these. What do you guys think about that idea? And it's would be the same idea as making this style pendant, right? So if we took a big purple one, so we could even. I was actually kind of looking, and you can continue on the pods and just keep making it bigger. This isn't quite big enough, but and this is almost too big for it. But I'm thinking that you could also do ideas like this where it sits in there. So you guys want to help me do this purple one, and let's make a pendant with a pod in the center. So we'll be making a pendant like this, as well as making the pod. Okay, so what I used is I like these little crystals. Okay, these little rhinestones. Mine happen to be the Swarovski. Oh my gosh, what is that? Why is that all wet? It's been a little bit crazy in my office today. I reached down, I was packing some orders to ship, and a lot of chaos in my house, but there was I don't know if you guys know what a skink is, but it's like a little you know, oh, got another little surprise. And there was this little lizard in the beads. It had gotten in there, and I reached down, and then the beads went like this, and I was like, oh my gosh, what was that? And then I saw, you know, just this little black, you know, body, and then it had this little red chin. So it wasn't your normal color for a skink, but it certainly startled me, and we had to, Jonah had to help me get it out. And I don't know if you guys can hear in the background right now, but I have not a cat in the background. You hear that I have a dog in the background. And that's because Mama Star is in the house. And so she came up to visit, and actually I wanted her to come on live here with me today to come just talk with you. But she felt like she had to get her hair done before she could do that. And so she's just getting herself back. And so maybe she'll come in and chat. Hey, Ma. Okay, so let's make some pods. So I found that this was super fun. You guys can maybe help me with some of the different choices here. So I'm kind of trying to pick some sizes. And when I'm looking at these, so like I said, when you start getting to twist these up, you can just do different number of strips. So like these ones were 2 strips. This one is 3. I think that one's 3 strips. Yeah, this one is 3 strips. So maybe this might have been a fatter 3 strip. You know, and that happens, right? So I, you know, do 3 on everything, and then I have like one that looks a little bit bigger, and that means that paper must have been just a smidgen thicker, or I got loose somewhere along the way, you know. So you might get all these different sizes, but don't fret. Don't feel like, you know, that was terrible, okay? You know, you can use them, and we're going to show you, you know, one way to do that. So here I can see that this that looks pretty nice, right? So let's get zoomed in a little bit closer. So that looks pretty good. So we're going to start with that layer. Okay, and then we want to maybe see, I kind of like this blue. So I'm kind of going with the colors that are in this spiral here as I'm looking for ones that would layer. So you can kind of see how much edging, and it's okay if it has more or less, or, you know, maybe I can put this pink one and you can kind of see. So if you can see an edging, which you want to see from the top, see that? And then we're gonna layer that one. Those are looking pretty good. But I think for this, I think I only need 2 layers. So do we want it to be blue? So it's going to sit like that in the center. Or do you think we should go with pink, guys? Because I think it's only going to look good with 2 layers. All right. Well, that looks awfully good, doesn't it? All right. I won't try to put any judgment in your brain. All right. Do we want this pink, or do we want a blue, light blue? Maybe help stand out a little bit more. Let's see what other color we could go. Oh, of course, you know I like my teal. Of course I would like it in that color. Oh, maybe we have to do that. All right, it might have changed the blue. So if you guys are new, I like to have your guys' input. So it makes it a little bit more fun as you guys help me create the magic. You guys are liking the pink, huh? Your dog, Mary Lee, your dogs are looking for the bark. That's so funny. I know, we're not used to having a dog in the house, and so now, like, I've had to keep the food up. I mean, you know, we have been dyeing Easter eggs, and Clover Clover is my mom's dog's name, attacked one of the eggs, and so that was just a bit of a mess. All right, you guys, you like that pink too. That pink just stands out, right? Okay. So we'll go for that. So the idea of putting these together, we're going to make a pod, of what I'm going to call a pod. All right. And the first thing we should, okay, let me get all this other stuff. Now let's get the only things we're going to use on the screen here. Okay, so we know that we want to curl this out, but I'm going to create this pod, I think, first. Where's my little crystal go? All right, so what we want to do here is, if you'll see, I'm going to start pushing this little crystal in ever so slightly. You guys see that? And I want it to be kind of even, so I'm going to kind of look at this on every edge, and you'll see that it's starting to poke out in the back, which is okay. Okay, but we know that we can't push too far, okay? Otherwise this is going to go popping out, okay? And we want to kind of use it as a base, so you can kind of see it's sitting in there, but not very much, okay? So that's all we want of that, okay? So I'm going to pop that out. I'm going to get the glue going here. So if you remember from yesterday, we were using, the glue I'm using is Tacky Glue, Aleene's glue. Is that how you say it? And then just taking a little brush and, can you see? I don't think you can see my glue, but I don't want things to be too close to my glue. All right, so this is where we're gonna just put, we're gonna paint that layer. Okay, so this is sealing in the coil the way that I want it. Okay, and we're not looking, you don't want too, you know, goopy. Okay, so we want to be thoughtful, and sometimes I kind of water it out if I have kind of gotten a little, it gets a little sticky. Okay, and then we're gonna let that one dry for just a second here. Now there's gonna be, oh, we're gonna do this twice because I'm gonna show you the pod, but then I'm gonna show you making it in if you want to make it a pin, head pin. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put this little sucker in there. Okay, so I'm gonna put some glue on the back there just to get it started. I'm gonna put a good chunk in there. I think I'll put that off the side. I don't mind it in the center, but wipe that off here in just a moment. Okay, and you can drop that right here in the center. This is why we're using clear glue, so that it doesn't look as crazy as it looks right now. Okay, and that way you can kind of see, so as far as you want it. That's looking pretty good. Okay, so there's the starting of a pod. Thanks, Lilia. She's got I actually just have a little piece of paper here, so I can just remove the surface. Okay. I was thinking one of the little paint trays that you can get from maybe like the dollar store. That's looking pretty cute, right? Okay, so now that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this over, and I'm gonna seal this one on the back because we know we like that. All right, so we're starting the layers. This is just another way of using the little spiral discs. Okay, we'll let that dry. Okay, let's get this little one out here. And what's nice about these are that it doesn't take too long to dry. So now we're going to grab this one, and this one's okay even if it sticks in there. Wouldn't be the end of the world. All right, so now I'm going to kind of line this up, same distance, trying to gauge it all the way around. That looks pretty center. And then I'm going to start pushing this ever so slightly. Okay, now one of the tricks here, okay, is that I'll push this in, okay, but once I feel like that's kind of far enough, if you'll see, then I'm going to start taking this edging, and I'm just taking my fingernail and just trying to get like maybe like the first, you know, 3, 4, you know, strips, and if you'll see, it's ever so slight to help the edge come up. Okay, so then it kind of creates this look here. Okay, so this is without having the back stick too far. Okay, and if you get too far, I mean, you can spend a lot of time getting, but you know, you can kind of feel it, right? All right, so now I'm gonna maybe take this out. Okay, and then we're going to seal that line of it, okay? You know what I do? Do you guys want to make you guys can imagine like this, doing this I think maybe I want to show you how to make this a button. How does that sound? I'll tell you how to make the pendant because it's going to be pretty similar, but this is where, you know, I will find that it kind of splits. Okay, so we've got a layer in there, and you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick that baby in there. These don't take long to make. Okay, so this is all we've just done. So we had pushed it, we got it all set, okay, and then we sealed up the center and we just dropped that baby in. I put a little bit of glue on the back of this. That's what I might have not seen on the screen, okay? And then we can flip this baby over and seal him in the back too. Maybe we can show both because it's not going to take too long. Okay, so putting that thin layer helps keep it sealed but also dry fast. And still be quite strong, you know, we're dealing in paper, but when you do lots of layers of paper, paper becomes pretty strong. Okay, and this is where you can, oops, excuse me. I put it on a stick here. Kind of looks like a little flower bud. And I want it to look, you know, that same kind of gloss. So I do all the edging too. But you can certainly get fancy on these. You can imagine adding color or different, having two color, you know, a different color center here. Okay, that's looking pretty cute. All right, while we're working on that to dry, now put that in a foam board. And let's go ahead and just make this, huh? Okay, I've got a bail right here, I think, for it too. That'll work really nicely. Okay, so we're going to be working this pea pod right into the center here. And then we'll make a button too. All right, so I'm kind of thinking I just want a little dip, not too far. You know, and again, this is where I might push this where it's not too deep, but this sticks out some. Okay, so we can kind of see the angle on that. All right, sorry guys. Working with a bigger piece and I'm trying not to make sure I land in my glue. Okay. All right, so we've got our centerpiece here. Okay, so you'll see that the whole part is curved right here, okay? But I want to make sure that this part is going to adhere. So I know that in the center part is blue. Okay, so I'm going to actually push this like what we started, okay? Because I want to make sure it really, you know, seals in there. You don't want it just kind of semi hooked in, right? So we're going to stick that in the center just like we did the other ones. We're going to poke just a bit. Okay, so we start seeing it poke through the back just a smidgen. Okay. Kind of looks like Saturn, right? Okay, and then we can start curving this edge. Now it's up to you. You know, you can work whether you kind of don't have this part sticking out that same way, but you know, it's not too far and it's the back side. But I want to make sure when we get that glue on there, you can really feel it. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. You'll see that kind of fits right there in that little pod. And then here it is coming from the side, kind of what it looks like. So once you're happy with the way that is setting, okay, we're gonna go ahead and put that seal through and keep it that way forever. And you'll see I'm kind of doing these kind of around with the paper, kind of trying to go with the grooves. So sometimes if it sits in there, you'll see I kind of get my brush pushed in and keep moving the glue so that it spreads evenly. Okay. So if you guys are painters or if you refinish stuff, you guys know that brush stroke. Right? No, I'm not a great artist that way, but I can paint some glue, I guess. Clear glue at that. You won't see my mistakes. Okay, that's looking nice. Yeah, Barb, we're going to show you, yes, it will be once you seal this. All right, so next thing, okay, so that's still a little sticky, which is great. I'm actually going to go ahead and, so I'm sticking some glue, but I think I'm going to spread that out some more. You don't want this falling out. Okay, and then we're going to stick that right in the center. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of push my finger here so we can make sure it's pretty good where we want it. Okay, we'll let that sit for a second, then we're going to do that other side. Does that look pretty good? All right, let's grab another one and let's make a button out of this guy here. And let's pick, do you guys want to do like one with this like blue? Oh, let me see if I have a smaller one. I like this. Now this one has a hole, but I think I can still use it because it still has enough to glue on. This, maybe go great. I like this. Maybe we'll do. So now I'm kind of just seeing what I've got here. You know, I was also messing around, you know, this glass piece. You know, I was seeing that you could actually probably push this in there too. And, you know, put a frame around it. Remember that glass bead we had used last week? What do we think of blue and red? It's like a superhero. Oh, here's this cool purple, or maybe we don't use that blue. I thought I had some other stuff. Oh, here's that purple one. You can use this light purple. This. Oh, we could go on forever. I want to find 3 in a stack. That's what my goal is. I like this yellow. Oh, we have a green here too. All right, so these are kind of the smaller. I just have this a blue purple, blue or purple. We kind of like this blue, right? I think we kind of like this combo. I'm going back to it. Maybe we get that yellow in there. I don't think that's quite. It's too big. Do I have a smaller one of those? There. Is that doable? Maybe I need to make a bigger yellow one. Or we can just go red. That's how it goes sometimes, you know. I thought I would do a match. Maybe it'll... These are too tiny. Oh, here. Maybe I'll use one of these. Should we go big? We could do a bigger one. I didn't want it to be that big though. This one. These are the same. And this red. I think I can do this. I think that's pretty tight. I think is this bigger? Yep, I'm going to do this red, this blue, and this blue. And this. All right. We could play around with that all day. All right, let's try to make a button out of this, shall we? All right, I'm putting a little bit more glue. Okay, so we're going to do a very similar process here. Sorry. Now you could just do this as a pendant. I did one and made it just a little charm. Okay. All right, so same idea. Now, if I'm showing you that it doesn't have to be full. You just want to make sure that, you know, you have enough, you know, surface area touching this paper so that it can still get adhered. I think I like this side better. Okay, so we're going to push that just a little bit in. So this is kind of a repeat of how the other starts. So it's still the pot idea. A lot easier to poke that out the back. Okay, let's seal that. I put in the crystal while this first layer is sticking. And this one I used a crystal AB, so this is a little bit different shimmer than what we just used. I know I didn't need all of that, but I want to make sure that we get enough touching for it to stay in there. Okay. Pick some of that off. Okay. All right. Part one. Okay, so next we want, now I haven't sealed it in the back so that I can push this in and it won't get caught up in there, okay? So here we're going to go ahead and push this in. And remember, we're doing kind of a half push, and then I kind of like to bring up the other edging, okay? Because I don't want to make this too deep. You know, my goal is to still make this look like it's being set deep, but not too high, right? So there's this little peep pod again. Okay. So we'll let that be drying. Ooh. Well, we'll flip this one over and let's seal this closed here. And then we'll do this third layer. And this is just to help sturdy it. Keeping the papers together so they can't move. Will strengthen their usability here for you. Okay. All right, so we've got this one here, and then we're going to take the red, and I'm kind of, I want to make sure that's kind of, that looks like it ought to work. So I don't want to push too hard yet. And push this in there. I think it's enough. I tend to like to wait a little bit longer, but we're trying to, you know, get through the lesson. Okay. Now I want to paint the back of that one. Okay, do this seal. And you're not going to see too much of it, so this is not as crucial that you know, get that perfect. All right, that's all right. While we wait for that to dry for just 1 second, I'm going to go back to this one, and let's add this. I've got a little piece here, and I like to put it on the edging. And you can kind of do one of these. I just dab that into the glue. Okay, and then I'm gonna look for the seal too, right on top, so that the edges match the edge. And for me, I'd rather more than enough. And then what I'm doing here is I'm gonna just, more important is I want it to seal. And you can see here, sometimes you need to lay it over an edge to dry. Okay, but this case, this has actually a little edge, so I think that it's going to just sit perfectly. Okay, so just let that dry. And then when I did this one here, when it's done, you can kind of just do a little bend. So if you want it to be more of a bail, you can kind of bend like this. Okay, and to get it a little bit more rounded like that. And kind of form it. Okay, so it doesn't have to be so rounded, but right now you want it to make sure it adheres. All right, this guy is dry enough, I think, to not be too sticky. All right, so next thing I want to do is stick this one in here. I kind of like the 3, but I'm hoping, I'm kind of feeling like this might not, that might not go. All right, I just can't do that one, so we're gonna have to do my rainbow one. I guess we're gonna do rainbow. I think that's gonna look pretty. That looks pretty cool. And then the back side, that's what the back side is gonna look like. All right, we're just gonna use my rainbow one because it seems a bit bigger. So if you like this rainbow one, it was 7 colors, so that was 7 strips. Big. Versus this blue one was 3, this is 7, so that you are able to fit it like this if you're looking to do that same. You guys like that idea too? Okay. All right, then I guess that's what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be similar, but I'm gonna show you what we do is just a little bit different. So let's seal this baby to what we just saw, because that looked pretty good. And you know what? It's a bigger button than I had wanted. So maybe we like make it into a ring. I'm thinking this would be a pretty solid looking ring. What do you guys think? All right, look, I just, you know how much I like that rainbow. Oh, I'm really liking how this looks. All right, so now what we need to do before we do anything else is let's grab a headband. Okay, so I've got a 3-inch head pin. You know, it doesn't need to be this long, okay? But the idea is we're going to stick this head pin right through the center and drop it through. Look at that. So now I've got ourselves a little flower, however you want to look at it. Okay, but it kind of looks like this. You could actually work this style into an earring, okay? But this is kind of the look of when you want to make it a cone. Okay, that's not what we're doing right now, but that would be the idea. Okay, so we're going to stick that little head pin in there and hold that pretty sturdy as I put a nice layer to get this next layer in there. So one, we want that to stay well into place. Okay, but we also want to put in this little next pod. Okay. I'm going to push that in. Look how cute that looks. I mean, like I said, it even looks like a flower already. Okay, and then let's go ahead and seal the back into place. Okay, and that there we have the idea of how you would make a button, a charm, whatever you want to use this component for. So never think you have the wrong sizes, you just have to work in what you got. There, look at that. Okay, I'm gonna just set that down. Okay, now I want to grab this one here, okay, so I can show you the back. Okay, so we just take that little head pin and do a little wrap to it. So you can see that's, you could then take this and have that attached to a ring. Wouldn't that make a great ring, you guys? Okay, you can also make several and you can start attaching them together, you know, to make a bigger pendant. Okay, so a lot of cool things you guys can do with this. I'm excited to hear what you guys think and what you guys are gonna do with paper. You guys, so there's kind of the paper pod. So this one I need to actually seal, I'll seal the back too on this. But there we go, there's the paper pods here today. And different ways of using it. So turning it into a button or having it into a pendant. So you can see this one would make a really pretty big ring too. I kind of like these as rings. What do you guys think? All right, let's see those hearts, those thumbs up if you like today's segment on getting extra with paper. Woo! Those are so cute. Okay, let me hold up the pendant so you guys can see what that size is. Look at that. And there's the other little pea pod we made. Oh, it looks so good from the side. Actually, kind of, you know, I don't mind it as an earring. That looks so cool. Very, very fun. Now, I want to show you if you just take this, so the way that we did this, we could have chosen, you know, like a star like this, okay? So if you have those broken, you know, things at home, you can now make them into a pendant, you know, and you don't have to worry about their pieces, but you're going to push this just like before, and then you can put this right in the center and make that a pendant. What do you guys think? Is that pretty good way to upcycle? Here's another little, you know, you have like that costume jewelry or maybe a metal, you know, component, and you just stick it right there in the center and see what that looks like, right? This was in my box from the Bead Brigade when we went to go visit. They, my bead crew put a box together of random things, and these flowers were in there. I was like, oh, that would be perfect. Since we made this one into a pendant, you know, maybe I'll make this one into another pendant. And on top of that, you guys, these are going to be the things. So if you guys are not part of our Star Special Stash group, head on over there and join, okay? Because that is where we want to see you guys sharing your wear, okay? So that's where I'm going to be looking for your things that were inspired by the Great Bead Extravaganza, okay? And from those, I will be picking some winners to be sending you guys a little gift package of some fun to make your own paper beads, okay? So maybe having some of the little crystals and some of the things that you saw here in the last couple days. All right, was that fun? Did you guys have fun? I'm getting like sucked into the paper hole. You know, I'm just having so much fun. I really think I want to make this a ring. So I think I'm gonna try doing that, making this a ring. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see everybody. I'm glad you guys could join me here today. And then, okay, so this week is a spring break for my household. So it's been a whirlwind. So yesterday, I'm literally still in recovery from the weekend. It was you know, busy with the Great Bead, but then I had, let's see, my mother-in-law's birthday. So I had a surprise birthday party literally right after my segment yesterday for the Great Bead. At the same time, my mom also landed in town, so I've got the star herself. I wanted to see her. You guys want to see, Mama Star? We can maybe go see where she's at and say hello. And see what she thinks about paper. You know, she watches the Great Bead Extravaganza too, you know. she puts me on her iPad and stuff and watches. It's so funny. So every once in a while you'll get a chance to see that Mom is watching. Shall we say hi to her? She is in town, and there's very few times we get to have the superstar herself. And for a lot of times, you know, people will come into the store and, you know, it's just stars, beads, and don't really know that star is actually a person, so that she even exists. Hey, Mom. Mom, you want to come make an appearance? I'd like to say hello. That's her dog. All right, here she comes. You want to see Mama Star? Come on, Mama. She finds this pretty fascinating. You know, seeing me on TV.
Hello.
Hey, Mom.
So am I walking?
Okay, guys. So can you show some hearts for the star herself? Here she is. She's making an appearance, and so you guys are pretty lucky. We get to save it right here in the online space forever. So Mom, what do you think about all this online business? Huh? Is it kind of crazy seeing me on TV?
It is. It's all new, and I think you're a natural. You've got a gift for it.
Well, and you've been watching the Great Bead Extravaganza too. You watched all of those, and That's pretty crazy on how we sell beads these days.
It's amazing, and you give all this free instruction. I mean, it used to be people had to pay for every class.
Yeah.
And we had a class in making paper beads years ago.
Yeah, my mom was just trying to think about. See all those stars, Mom? Those are,
Yeah.
or all those hearts? Those are for you.
Oh, that's
They,
good.
they like that you got your hair done. I said I think you were supposed to get back sooner.
And it's more expensive here than it is at home. It was surprising. And
Isn't
she
it?
wanted cash. Yeah. So that was an experience.
I found that Costco was more expensive down here too.
That's, well,
I guess
homes
living
are
by the ocean.
Yeah, you pay for the ocean and the sea breeze. But no, I think it's really interesting what you can do with a paper bead.
What'd you think of what I came up with? What kind?
I like the button too.
Yeah.
You showed
Here, this is what we finished today.
And that's the pendant. Yeah.
My
all kinds
my
of
paper pod.
all kinds of possibilities.
You
And
know.
so I'm going to go online too and just Google paper beads. I haven't done that yet. And
see how I did.
Yeah, maybe how you did and what other people are doing. And I told Kay that once I saw a person bringing beads that were made from old Bible pages.
Old Bible pages.
Evidently, this was done, 100 years ago.
So nothing new.
And making them, it kind of pointed at each end. So they were cut in a triangle and rolled. Not beautiful, but interesting how they took those pages.
Yeah, if you ever hear my mom say it's interesting, it's never really good. Just saying.
That's a polite way of saying it.
So if you ever have to, be polite, just say that's interesting.
So we
if you guys ever say that's interesting, that's what I'm going to be thinking because of her.
That it's all right.
Always a mom there.
So
we did this one here.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, this is what we did today.
And then
because I was trying to show them how to make this.
And the earring, you showed that earring yesterday too that you had made that was paper, but remember?
Oh, those earrings? No, those were. I wonder if she's on here. No, that was made by one of our customers.
Because those were beautiful.
Shelly, she loved your earrings that I was wearing.
With that little drop, that was really interesting. Do you have that earring to just show?
They'll have to catch the replay.
Okay.
That's how it works.
All right. You have to have a replay.
You have to have a replay. And let's see. Paulette Matt says, where does Mom live? You live in
Haymarket, Virginia. That's about 90 minutes from D.C. I moved from Vienna, Virginia to Haymarket to 55 plus golf community. But
she's a golfer.
Now I'm thinking I will move to Myrtle Beach. So Wednesday I'm looking at houses.
So she's down here checking things out, scoping the scene here at the beach, you guys. So we get to have both moms, in the area. So that's gonna be nice. So that's we have spring break this week. We've got Mama Star in town, and we gotta hit some community places.
Well, we're gonna go to the beach and take the dog to the beach.
That's right. Yeah, where's Clover? Clover.
She's right here.
Here, you guys want to see the dog that was yapping earlier? Here.
Brought the dog.
They always like animals. Wait, what? Oh, didn't you get a DNA?
Yes.
Here is that nice yapping dog here. This is Clover. See her?
And her DNA says she is part Shih Tzu, part Poodle, and she's got a grandparent that slept around because it's a mystery. Even though
doesn't that sound like the family tree?
Family tree, yes. Because I paid a lot.
There's always somebody who wasn't spoken of.
Wasn't supposed to be, and she is not a sheepoo, but I bought her.
Was bought as a sheepoo, or a sheepoo. I don't know how you say it.
So there was a mystery grandparent in there, but she's been a fun dog. So
yeah, we picked her out as this little puppy, and but you know, been great companion, and hopefully Ivan is not too pissed.
Yeah, we haven't seen Ivan. I think Ivan's living under the bed now. The cat. So,
Yeah.
Well, all right.
All right. Well, thanks for playing, you guys. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I'm going to be back on here next Monday. We are taking spring break off with the family and getting all sorts of caught up. So if you guys are wondering where the orders are, they are certainly still being worked on. We're working on the last few Friday Night Lives, so we're getting all the spring stuff, the mermaid beads, the lava, all of those together. So you guys will be seeing those things coming in the next week or two. And if you have any questions, you guys know what to do. Just send a DM straight to the page, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, you guys, have a great week, and we will see you. Make sure you guys are posting in the Star Special Stash group, because I want to be seeing what you guys are making, what got you guys inspired, and I want to be giving you guys some of this cool stuff right here on my table, because that's the easiest way for me to clean it off. Just give it to you, right? All right, you guys, have a great rest of the week. I'll see you guys next Monday, and I'll put some posts into the Star Special Stash group here throughout the week. All right, guys, have a good one. Thank you.